Good evening, how's it going? Trafalgar Valentine Vehicle Designs. This is another commentary from my recent paintings. This one was a 1954 Militant truck. Yeah, AEC Militant Mk I truck. Thought this would be a fun one to paint just because I've never seen one before and I love these old recovery trucks and that. And to start off with this painting, it was pretty straightforward. I used my standard Stationery Island watercolour paper. Definitely using Stationery Island paper. This is great paper to use. It's 300 GCM, so it absorbs a lot of like water and things onto it. And for this painting, I just start off with the traditional kind of method that I like to use for watercolour painting, which is just like a light pencil sketch, just to get the rough all the shadows and stuff like that. So when I apply the watercolour wash on top of it, the dark shadows already like have dark lines and stuff. Then once I've got the light pencil sketch down, I just do a large wash of colour. I thought I'd do this a bit backwards, so instead of using like a blue hue from the top and then brown from the bottom, which is kind of traditional for my car paintings and stuff like that, so blue sky and brown ground and stuff, I did this a wee bit different, so I thought I'd have like a blue haze coming from the right hand side, hitting the truck, and then like a very dark blacks on the other side. I don't know why, I just thought this would be a fun idea today. As with all my watercolour paintings and that, it's all about building up lots of gradual tones and stuff like that. So start off with like a blue haze of the colours and stuff like that on the right hand side, and then as the actual you want the lightest part of the vehicle on one side, and then as it gets darker tones you add a second layer, so for the inside of the wheels and stuff like that, and then all the different edges of the door panels and stuff like that, you want that to have a darker blue and stuff. That way you get a nice gradual like shadow colour. And then likewise on the other side, just like dark brown stuff. The front of the vehicle will be facing away from the light, so I made that part of the darkest part of the light. It was kind of tricky at first to get the right kind of colour tone. This kind of like brown, this very like chocolatey kind of colour, but gradually built up the layers and stuff. I didn't really like the way I was actually looking, so what I thought I'll do is, what I've done with a few of my paintings and stuff like that, is I can get sometimes a bit transfixed on trying to figure out what to do in my studio, like with the painting and stuff, and then eventually I'm just like, just move to the side, I'll just leave it for now. But I was going to take my daughter to gymnastics, and I had to wait for like an hour, 45 minutes, something like that, until she finished. So I took the painting with me, and then just instead of instead of taking like paints with it and stuff like that, I took with me a fine liner pen and a highlighter pen. And I thought in that time I could just focus on the highlights and the fine liners just to bring out the vehicle. And with this minimum tools, I managed to just like really hone in on the actual vehicle itself. So it's just getting, I think I used a lot of cross-hatching pattern with the blues and a bit of cross-hatching with the brown as well, just to get all the little shadows within it, so like cross-hatching effect inside the actual cab for the shadows at the bottom and stuff. And when I've got this minimalist amount of tools, I can actually do a lot with it and get creative with it, rather than have like an expanse of my studio and stuff like that where there's lots of paints around and markers and oil pastels and chalks. It can get a bit overwhelming. But if you have like a minimalist amount, that's sometimes where creativity can really explode, because you just have to do with what you have basically. And then just over this period of time, like I said, I managed to make like lots of little white highlights. There's lots of little details with these recovery trucks. That's the only problem with like these heavy machinery and stuff. So like I made sure that all the white highlights were on the blue side and stuff, and then the dark areas on the left hand side. So I went really heavy with the lines on the left and really light with the lines on the right. And the saturation wasn't the best, so I used a little bit of ink wash, which is a lot more saturated in the colour than the watercolour paint. I probably could maybe get a better level of saturation with the watercolour paints, but sometimes when I really want to hit that blue saturation or the other saturation colours, I really need to use a bit of ink wash and stuff like that. It's a bit more pigment into it. So after I finished all the details and stuff like that with the highlights and the lines work and all the cross hatching and stuff like that, I just added a few little other details to actually the painting. So I added like the letter in the bottom for International National Rescue, and a little circle around the background, just little like shapes and stuff, just to make the actual picture a bit more interesting. It kind of brings everything all together. So like I did like a circle at the back, and that just helps pull the background further because it adds another layer to the background. But because the vehicle is sitting on top of the circle, it helps pull the vehicle forward. And the name of the company is National Rescue, so I added that on the right hand side. And that's just again just a clearance with the actual just adherence to the company who owns the actual vehicle itself. So I thought it'd be kind of fun. Then like sometimes when I've got the white gel marks That's what I use for my highlights. Uniball Mitsubishi like white gel pen, which is a really opaque pen which can actually sit on top of all the layers. That's why I actually use it, because if you use like, I can use paint sometimes, but it's not really precise like the Uni pen is. So, but the problem is with the Uni pen, it can leave like just a straight edge when you actually do around a shape, so it leaves like little blobs at the end. So then I just smooth those out with my finger and stuff, so that creates like a smooth transition throughout the actual vehicle. And then afterwards, sometimes I even use markers on top of that, sometimes just to blend the white into the actual vehicle. And I tried to get like a blend of like browns and blues into it, but it was really tricky. To be honest, this painting didn't turn out the way I wanted it, but at the final result it was kind of cool. And afterwards I put it on my Instagram, shared it with the actual company, National Rescue from London, which is way south from me. They really liked it, and they even shared the congrats, and they told me about the fact that this vehicle is now going to retirement after 40 years of service, and it's going to the bus museum, which is kind of good because they said it would be looked after there and things. And they showed me a picture of what it originally looked like, which is this one here. So yeah, unfortunately I didn't manage to sell the painting, and I got about 10 likes on Instagram, but hey ho, it's still a really fun one to do. I love doing recovery trucks and things. I mean, I can't just like draw lots of cool cars all the time, but trucks are really awesome. I love the power of the trucks, and they're so different, especially a 1954 vehicle. I've never seen anything like it, so yeah, it's really good. I mean, what I could have improved better, I think maybe for this kind of painting, I would have maybe loved to do a more squared off background, a bit more of a cloudy, because the vehicle's kind of curved and there's lots of shapes to it. I think because the vehicle's got lots of different, like a very rough, like, if you know, there's like a curve on the front, but then at the back it's got the hooks and stuff like that. Because the vehicle's kind of complicated, I think it would need like a nice squared off background. I think that would have helped finish it off better. I've done that with my previous paintings and it's looked really good. So maybe for more complicated vehicles, next time I'll probably like do like a squared off background. I think that would have looked better. Maybe I'm trying to think of a more natural blue light source to it. So although I did the blue light source, which looks really cool on the one side, maybe I could have done like a blue neon light or something on the right hand side, so it has like where the light's coming from. Maybe in the background where it's dark and grey, I could maybe like doing like a brick wall. Maybe that would have added more coolness. But when I don't really go back to all these paintings, it's in the moment, so it is what it is. I could like go back to it and fix things, but to be honest, I'll be there all day trying to fix stuff, because there'll be other things I can see that I'll want to try and fix and things. But it's in the moment, it's done, it's uploaded, it's in the wild, it's fine. See how the public goes, see what happens, and so yeah, still good. I really loved the idea of doing the opposite kind of effect with the colours. So I wasn't just trying to do like a natural ground colour and a natural sky colour, but more like a blue neon with like a dark background. So I like the actual idea. It's not quite natural colours. I think that brings out a really good artistic expression to the actual vehicle. Because I've done this example with some of my previous paintings where I've done like an explosion of like warm colours like reds, blues, reds, yellows, oranges and stuff like that on one side of the vehicle, and then an explosion of like cool colours, blues, purples on the other side. And although the vehicle is never going to be in this kind of scenario, it brings a nice artistic expression to the actual car. This is why in my slogan I put painting vehicles beyond visual limits, because I'm trying to paint a vehicle that you would never seen in the kind of natural lights and stuff like that. Though you could maybe use a photo editor and stuff like that, but really with the textures within it and the actual colours and stuff, you'll see the vehicle in a whole new perspective. The last one I did, the Ford Falcon, I think I just wanted to do another truck because I like drawing trucks and stuff. I thought I didn't want to do cross-hatching again. I just still go back to it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just natural fun. Maybe it's like therapeutic to do cross-hatching because it's like just small tedious lines and stuff. I don't know. I'll keep on going back to cross-hatching. I don't know why, but I don't really explain why I do my paintings and stuff. I just go for it and see what happens. I mean, I try to explain the reason why I do things, but at the end of the day I have no idea myself because I don't plan out paintings. It's just, it is what it is really. So Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and all that other pish, and if you have any comments for any future vehicles, just let us know. Thanks for watching.